Hello from the final stages of the AFC Women's Champions League. Suwon in Korea Republic is the venue for the semi-finals and final. It may be raining overhead, but some high-quality football is in prospect, and we start with last season's runners-up, Melbourne City against Tokyo Verdy Beleza of Japan. It's an Australian club team against a Japanese club team on neutral territory in Korea Republic. And these clashes are always fascinating when Australia and Japan go head-to-head. Let's take a look at how these teams made it to this semi-final. Melbourne City with a 2-1 win against Nasaf of Uzbekistan, while Tokyo Verdy advanced, beating Stallion Laguna of the Philippines 5-0. As you can see, it is going to be challenging conditions today with the rain. It is a cool 16 degrees, but only light winds, so hopefully the contest will not be affected too much. Both these teams played only recently. Tokyo Verdy played at the weekend as they finished in the Japanese WE League in 3rd place. And we will see the team cards soon, but I can tell you they've only made the 2 changes for the team that played at the weekend. Melbourne City, they are coming off a win in the Australian Grand Final. For those of you not familiar with how it works in Australia, rather than League and Cup, it is League and then Finals. Melbourne City finishing top of the league and then winning the Grand Final 3-1 against the Wellington Phoenix, and they will have made only just the 1 change to their lineup from Saturday's success. 18 keen there in the tunnel for Melbourne City. Nerves and excitement for this team from Australia. A strong core of Australian players, many of them who have international caps for the national team at Matildas level or youth national team level. Tokyo Verdy Beleza were able to top their group and set up that quarterfinal against Stallion Laguna, but they haven't had a flawless performance all the way through. They were held to a draw by Nagyohang, who they will be hoping to meet potentially in the final, given that Nagyohang and Suwon play in the second of the semi-finals, which follows this contest. Always so many unknowns when these teams square off, but Melbourne City coach Michael Matriciani has said that over the last 5 weeks his team has been integrating patterns of play and tactical methods to try to take away Tokyo Verdy's strengths. So we will see just how well that research has stacked up and how prepared the teams are. As you can see, it is the Champions League, so plenty of spectacle and no lack of enthusiasm, even though the wet weather means that the volunteers holding the flags out on the ground have had to wear raincoats this afternoon. So these final minutes of anticipation before the teams walk out of the tunnel. Great to see Tokyo Verdy have fans that have made their way to Suwon for this potential semi-final and final. And Melbourne City with a loyal core that have made the journey as well. They lost in a penalty shootout last season in the final to Wuhan Jiangda. Melbourne City, can they go all the way in 2026? One step further and lift the AFC Women's Champions League. The AFC anthem will welcome both teams out of the tunnel onto the pitch at the Suwon Sports Complex. And so here come the 2 teams, Melbourne City and Tokyo Verdy, set to square off in the AFC Women's Champions League. Fans of both teams braving the conditions and savouring the experience. And so as both teams line up, we'll observe now the AFC Women's Champions League anthem. So the Champions League anthem, a great opportunity to take a look at the participants in the starting 11s for both teams. So the formalities of pre-kickoff, let's take a look at the teams. Melbourne City make one change to the team that won the Australian A-League Grand Final on Saturday. The number 14, Laura Hughes, comes into the starting 11 with Australian capped international Briley Henry, the number 22, moving to the substitutes bench. An extended bench in the Champions League means that Nigeria international Chinaza Uchendu, who scored the match-winning goal in the quarterfinals, has been added to the substitutes bench. She's been serving a suspension in the Australian A-League, so will be relishing the chance to return to the action here in the Champions League. Captains of both sides exchanging the pennants at the coin toss. It is Tomoko Muramatsu of Japan, and also Tokyo Verdy and Rebecca Stott, the New Zealand international, with more than 100 caps. And in the VAR booth, you can see that it will be in operation for today's game. Central referee Tian Jin of China PR and VAR official Mohammed Khaled Al-Hoish of Saudi Arabia. Let's take a look at the Tokyo Verdy lineup. Two changes to the team that played in the final round of the WE League at the weekend. A goalkeeper change. Shu Oba is preferred between the sticks, with Nina Noda moving to the substitutes bench. And the other change is the veteran Azusa Iwashimu moving to the substitutes bench. And with Iwashimitsu moving to the bench, coming into the team is the number 8, Hikaru Naomoto. Second choice goalkeeper Melissa Barbieri, the veteran former Australian international, leading the last of the encouragement there in the huddle. And Melbourne City in all city blue will be playing in their home Champions League kit, and Tokyo Verdy, perhaps fittingly, wearing their home kit as well in green. One last huddle for Tokyo Verdy. Smiles and lots of enthusiasm for this contest. Very relaxed Tokyo Verdy huddle. There's a little bit more tension in the Melbourne City team before getting this match underway. Letitia McKenna called up to the Matildas today. She's going to add to her one Australian international cap, and she scored at the weekend in the A-League Grand Final. And the kickoff will take us to countdown, with Tokyo Verdy kicking off, attacking on the left of your screens. And so underway in the AFC Women's Champions League Finals, the first of the semi-finals between Melbourne City and Tokyo Verdy from the Suwon Sports Complex. And Michael Matriciani, the Melbourne City coach, watching on in the heavy jacket. We see an early clearance from Tomoko Muramatsu. Possession regained by Yuna Aoki. Taking ball down the right is intercepted by Danielle Turner, the Englishwoman. To Taylor Otto, the American. And continuing the theme of internationals in the Melbourne City team, Elena Mires, the Spaniard, clears the ball. Now Turner wheels onto her left foot to drive down the line. It'll be a Tokyo Verdy throw-in to be taken by Momoka Honda. Michael Matriciani, fresh off winning the double in Australia, hoping to make it a treble with success on the continent. Switch of flanks for Tokyo Verdy. Shino Matsuda. Now Nanami Kitamura. Another lapping run promising from Matsuda. Cleared away in the cross from Nanami. Now an interception by Carly Ross-Backen. Melbourne City with a long ball. Holly McNamara, their centre forward, isolated, and the ball is cleared. As the pressure comes from Shino Matsuda to win a throw-in. Naoki Kusanose, the coach of Tokyo Verdy, wearing wet weather gear, just opting for the cap. Ross-Backen makes another interception here. Laura Hughes. Possession taken by Holly McNamara. McNamara with a subtle push in the back. And the ball is determined to have found its way over the sideline, despite Muramatsu trying to escape away with possession. Rebecca Stott was the most valuable player of last season's Champions League. 31-year-old New Zealander in outstanding form. Touch from 18 Keane. Possession given away, albeit briefly. Turner. Back to Mearens. No press just yet from Tokyo Verdy. Happy to watch the Melbourne City defenders play. Taylor Otto to Danielle Turner. Brings it back into the defensive line for Tokyo Verdy. Muramatsu working with Aoki. Now Momoka Honda. To Mamiaso. To the edge of the box. Promising run from Miharu Shinjo. And the cross is going to fall to the left side of the area and turned in for the opening goal. Just 4 minutes is all it's taken for Tokyo Verdy to go in front. Miharu Shinjo perfectly placed. And it's Yuzo Shiokoshi who opens the scoring for Tokyo Verdy. Here's another look at the build-up to the goal. Miharu Shinjo able to swing in the cross. And then the return ball in from Shino Matsuda. And opening up the body, Yuzuho Shiokoshi. VAR is just checking the goal here. Are we about to see the early joy of Tokyo Verdy chalked off? We are not. VAR has given the all clear and play is back underway. Aside from Japan, have the early ascendancy here. Aiden Keane contesting possession. Melbourne City looking for an instant response. Shiokoshi's second goal of this season's Champions League campaign. She scored against Nakia Hang in the group stage. So she's doubled her tally. Plenty to ponder in the early exchanges for Michael Matriciani. Shiokoshi with 5 international caps for Japan, all of them won in 2021. So she's had a brief taste of playing for the Nadeshiko at the very top level. 28 years of age. Here is Shu Oba. Pass played all the way back to Milena Meirez. And now Rebecca Stott. Will we see a change in complexion to the game? Will Melbourne City be a little bit more aggressive? They have been happy to knock the ball around their defensive line and just get settled into the match and the conditions, but trailing early might mean they have to have a change in mentality. By contrast, Tokyo Verdy, how aggressive will they be in pushing for a second goal? Tamami Aso. Shino Matsuda. Interception from Turner. Shelby McMahon, the 18-year-old, starting in midfield for Melbourne City. Tamami Aso. Challenge coming from Leah Davidson, but the ball runs on. Kindly for Hikaru Namoto. Tamami Aso. Space in midfield to exploit here for Tokyo Verdy. Naharu Shinjo out to the right. Good overlapping run. Cross is dangerous. Similar situation to the opening goal, but this time Shino Matsuda and Laura Hughes marking her into the penalty area. Tokyo Verdy very nearly able to recreate the circumstances that led to them taking a 1-0 lead. This time Melbourne City had more numbers back covering. Throw-in is hooked away, but Melbourne City's throw-in will be deep down in defence and a chance for Tokyo Verdy to tramp them in. Honda. Back to Rin Sumida. Tokyo Verdy starting to dominate possession now. In the 10th minute of action. Feels like they have definitely settled the better of the two teams. And their passing patterns are starting to emerge. It's a good ball, and off the post, the follow-up is in for two. Miharu Shinjo doubles Tokyo Verdy's lead, and only after Shiyakoshi was denied by the width of the post. And Malena Mires implores her defence to come in for a team huddle. Melbourne City are shell-shocked. Tokyo Verdy have struck twice in the first 10 minutes. Shinjo celebrates. And like Shiyakoshi, it is her second goal of this Champions League campaign. No questions of offside there. Everyone placed legally, and a cruel deflection off the post, at least as far as the Melbourne City defence were concerned. Worked out absolutely perfectly for the 19-year-old Miharu Shinjo. And you can see the delight. They were relaxed when they walked out onto the pitch pre-game. Lots of laughs and smiles, and no reason for the smiles to disappear at this point. Tokyo Verdy in a commanding position. It is Shinjo and Shiyakoshi who have the two goals so far, and are there more on the way here? Shinjo, fresh off scoring. Cuts to the line and not able to draw a corner kick. It's out for a goal kick. 2-0 lead, but not enough to draw a smile out of the manager. Naoki Kusanose very much mind on the job. Turner. challenge from 18 Keane was full of aggression, but illegal in the referee's view. Foul given. Keane in a tangle there with Momoka Honda. City need to bring their attackers like Keane, like Holly McNamara into this game if they want to mount some sort of a comeback. But priority number one is simply taking possession of the ball. They're getting dominated in that aspect at present. Matsuda. Tokyo Verdy continue to control possession here. Shiakoshi and Shinjo with 9 and 5 goals respectively in the WE League this season. Shiakoshi, the team's top scorer. Right side causing all sorts of havoc for Melbourne City at present, even though it is veteran English defender Danielle Turner guarding that side of the pitch. So many of the attacks are coming down that flank for Tokyo Verdy at the moment, and they have drawn the first corner of the game as a result. Tokyo Verdy, who scored 44 goals in their 22 WE League games in the Japanese domestic competition this season. Perfect average of 2 a game. Look on track to do significantly better than that here. As Melbourne City can defend with a bit more sturdiness, that will please them. Out for a goal kick, in the first corner of the match is dealt with comfortably enough. Shouting from the Melbourne City sideline, the voice of their backup goalkeeper, Melissa Barbieri, always able to carry. As Tokyo Verdy continue to knock the ball around with ease, but Melbourne City are going to press, and well played to win possession back here from Leah Davidson, and now on the end of a return pass from Holly McNamara. Can Melbourne City fashion their first shot of the contest? Davidson attracting the attention of midfielders. Oh, and the referee gets a touch of the ball. So it will be a restart via a drop ball here for Melbourne City, after Tian Jin was unable to evade that little cutback. Long ball looking for Holly McNamara. She's on an acute angle here, though. Trying to fashion a cross. It's been blocked down to the corner. And McNamara has taken a knock to the ankle as she tried to protect the ball out of play. Looking at some of the early possession statistics after 15 minutes, available on the AFC website. Possession 64% in favour of Tokyo Verdy so far. 80% dual success rate as well. So they're winning the ball, they're keeping the ball, and Melbourne City are in need of something special from this dead ball opportunity over which Letitia McKenna is standing. McKenna drifts in across, and a comfortable claim for Shu Oba in goal. Oba looking to launch a quick counter-attack. Turner's header. Shinjo able to keep the ball. Problems here for Laura Hughes, being defended by Kitamura. So a back pass to Milena Mires. Promising pass from Leah Davidson into the path of 18 Keane. Keane building up speed, looking for Holly McNamara. And the cross is deflected into the arms of the goalkeeper. But better signs for Melbourne City. First time we've seen Keane in full flight today. Something perhaps for Tokyo Verdy to think about the counter-attack, but they've got attacks of their own in mind here. Long ball gets the thumbs up from Naomi Kitamura. Set up kindly for Milena Mires. Bit of hesitation in possession here, and Keane is going to win the ball. McNamara with a shot on side, and it's blocked away. You'd see that unfolding there. It was a bit of hesitant play. Defense there from Yuna Aoki. She was nearly made to pay for it, coughing up possession there. So, again, Melbourne City chasing a 2-0 deficit, but starting to grow into the contest. Letitia McKenna. Can't quite pinpoint Holly McNamara over on the right. Well defended by Shino Matsuda. Is the momentum just starting to turn? This game is still only 18 minutes in. Plenty of football to be played. Of course, there must be a winner today. Extra time and penalties, should they be required. Of course, that would rely on a Melbourne City comeback of some proportion already. Rebecca Stock. Long hopeful ball, emphatically headed away by Muramatsu. And now moving through midfield is Naomoto. Honda. Cuts it back inside for Sumida. Showed a bit too much of the ball there to Davidson, but able to win the duel and keep possession. Aso. Now Matsuda, only as far as Rostbacken. Kitamura. Late challenge coming in from McMahon, and the referee sees fit to sanction it with a foul. Shelby McMahon, second to the contest there, in fact quite late. So we have the benefit of a replay collecting Maharu Shinjo. Free kick taken quickly. Kitamura breaks to the line, and the cut across is cleared. Only shallow by Rostbacken, and McNamara is helping out in defence. And if you see Holly McNamara back in defence, it's almost certainly a guarantee that there are no attackers ahead of the ball. The referee is ordering 18 Keane to the sideline here. See the knee there requires treatment, can't have an open wound, so it'll be a quick treatment hopefully for Keane. But for now, it is 11 versus 10. Tokyo Verdy with the player advantage until Keane is allowed back on. Tamami Aso. Muramatsu. Kitamura, and Stott makes the intercept. Keane still being treated, so still 11 versus 10. You saw Scott scan the field there, looking for a long ball, but the left winger wasn't out there to switch to. Here's Matsuda. Takes the pass back to Kitamura. See Keane at the base of your screens there, is ready to return. Sweeping cross from the right, and a little too close to the keeper. Milena Mires making that catch look easy. Momoka Honda trying to pick out one of her teammates. Tokyo Verdy's preference for the right side of attack continues. Lots of talk between the players, organising each other. And it's McNamara's turn to draw a free kick here from Honda. Then Keane back in the action. Now McNamara. Davidson tries to measure a pass. Keane defending from the front. Honda caught late and saw. There's another look at the confrontation between the two players, and Keane just collecting the right leg of Momoka Honda. Quick word on the sidelines between coach and assistant, but no indications that Honda is going to be struggling to continue in the game. Verdy, the switch to the left, promising pass, Kitamura. Cuts the ball back at the edge of the box. And then just a bit of a miscommunication there, and Tamamiaso knocks the ball out for a goal kick. Turner. Otto is going to be hurried here by the press from Tokyo Verdy. Turner, a controlled pass. Keane, unable to keep possession. Keane to Turner. McKenna. Lots of passes for Melbourne City, but they are struggling to advance the ball. Mires finds Keane, able to lose the attention of Honda. Keane with a cross, and it flashes through the penalty area. McNamara not able to make ground to contest in the air. Teasing, but ultimately unsuccessful pass. Aiden Keane looking like Melbourne City's best, almost only attacking weapon at the moment. Ollie McNamara still starved of getting opportunities here. As the ball is cleared away, and Melbourne City do have a throw in deep in their attack. McNamara cuts towards the line. The cross deflected. Rost back in, an in-swinger. And it is an uncontested catch for Shu Oba. Melbourne City starting to wrestle the territory battle back into their favour to an extent as well. Finding ways to interrupt Tokyo Verdy's phases of possession and start to string together a few of their own. As we see Honda here, who's sliding as the ball goes out of play. See the rain continuing to tumble down in Suwon. No let up for the players out on the pitch. Keane takes possession here, able to nick around her marker. Can she link up with McNamara? Other players getting forward in support. Keane dancing on the ball, and the cross is deflected out from Melbourne City's first corner of the game. And again, all roads lead to 18 Keane at the moment as far as Melbourne City are concerned. Good one-on-one defending from Yuna Aoki, sticking to task, even though she was the one who initially got caught in possession. A good recovery. Letitia McKenna with a corner. We saw a wide free kick earlier. Now an in-swinging corner, headed off the near post. Aoki, the player, clearing it away. Stott challenging, and Lates here. Might have been a handball in the build-up had Stott also not crashed in on Shinjo to concede the foul. VAR, as you can see there on screen, had a little look at that previous corner kick, but didn't find anything too intriguing. Certainly not enough to command the referee's attention. Taylor Otto. Daniel Turner. Possession coughed up. Danger here for City. McMahon. Tamariaso takes over for Tokyo. Move breaks down with Shelby McMahon able to take over the ball. City have to concede ground back to Milena Mires. Mires lifting a clearance to a vacant sideline. Played out to the left, and McNamara has a step on the defender, cuts inside. Does she shoot on her right? Looks to pass, and it's cleared away. Laura Hughes had made a run from midfield to join the penalty area. Now the game is stretched. City get their numbers back behind the ball, prevent the counter-attack, and across comes Taylor Otto to concede a throw-in. Davidson really grown into the game, trying to be the player that can unlock the Tokyo Verdy defence with the right pass. That one wasn't it, but started to look a bit more promising on the ball as the first half has advanced. Matsuda. Bending pass that's going to evade Maharu Shinjo. Turner. Down the line, McNamara being worn closely by Honda. Able to win possession back. Well, that's great close control there from Shiokoshi. However, Taylor Otto put a stop to her advances. Mirez. McKenna. Davidson. Letitia McKenna. Switching over to the right. Carly Ross back in. Didn't read the flight of the ball. Maybe it held up on the surface. Matsuda came through. Deft little step over. And the build-up is really promising here for Tokyo. Little chip from the right. And it's going to be shinned wide at the back post. What an opportunity, though, for Maharu Shinjo. It was a beautifully measured ball from Naomoto. See the crosshair from Naomoto, and well, the parry from Milena Mirez nearly fell perfectly for Maharu Shinjo. You see there, it was off the midriff, not even off the legs. Very tough to steer that back towards goal. Tokyo Verdy just issuing a reminder of the threat they posed. The 2 goals feel some time ago in the contest now. It was 2-0 before the 10-minute mark, so Melbourne City have steadied, but Tokyo Verdy still pose a goal threat. And here is Shinjo again. Ross back in, an ambitious clearance, takes a deflection. Hughes able to nick it around Kitaru. And lucks of fortune there. Ball out to the right, which is going to run long. Ross back in his throw in. Hughes. Played by Kitamura. Stott makes the interception. Striding into midfield. Big deflection. Was McNamara onside? It matters not. The ball was cleared away regardless. Chani, soaked in the wet weather, continues to watch on. Hoping his team can halve the deficit before the halftime break. Give themselves an avenue back into this match. Davidson. McNamara from wide, looking for Keane in the middle. Rolls reversed this time. Previous City attacks, it had always been Keane looking for McNamara instead. Attempted through ball here. McNamara takes possession. And 2 defenders on her case, Honda primarily. And behind for a corner kick. So, promising signs for Melbourne City. It may be 2-0 on the scoreboard, but they are very much in general play here. Can they turn this promise into a goal? The fans certainly believe. Here's McKenna. McKenna's cross. It's going to fall to Rebecca Stott and turned in by Aideen Keane. Melbourne City are back in the contest. And Aideen Keane with a goal line tap in, able to steer the shot from Rebecca Stott and redirect it over the goal line to make it Melbourne City 1, Tokyo Verdy 2. Here's another look. McKenna's corner, Stott unmarked at the back post and shooting it, and Keane did enough. VAR is having a look. Keane's onside. I don't think there's any disputing that. May well go down as an own goal. Keane's there, but I wouldn't be surprised if An own goal is the final verdict, assuming that VAR is satisfied. Yes, goal given. And for now, 18 Keane is claiming the glory. And you could see it coming. The momentum was turning. Melbourne City enjoying more time in their attacking half. Goal given, kickoff takes place. And they fashioned a chance. And 18 Keane was there to make it count. Whether it was her touch or merely her presence distracting other defenders whose shins it ricocheted in off. And if it's of a defender, maybe Rebecca Stott has claim to the goal. Here's Hughes. Still plenty of time before the halftime break. Can Melbourne City seize on their momentum here? Well, the ground announcers in no doubt that it's 18 Keane's goal. As Stott plays the ball back to Mires. You can just see there's a pep in the step of the Melbourne City players now. They're starting to knock the ball around a little bit more up-tempo. Possession given away here, though. Tokyo Verdy, well, good covering defensive run from Letitia McKenna. Normally associated with attacking play, but that was excellent. Good sidestep from Davidson too. And McNamara draws a free kick to end the turmoil in the defensive half for Melbourne City. She's been able to draw fouls on a regular basis, Holly McNamara. No protests about a card for persistent fouling just yet. By my count, that's at least 3 that she's been able to draw during the course of this first half. See the shift in mindset from Melbourne City. Melena Mires roaming out of her penalty area now. Striking a long ball. Matsuda clearing it only as far as Hughes. Keane. McKenna unable to find a gap. And the ball is cleared away. A long promising ball, which Mires is out of her line. Energetic keeper sweeper work to clear the ball away from Shinjo. Shinjo takes the throw in. Sumida. Aoki. Now Honda. Taking on Davidson. Honda back to Naomoto. Shinjo's touch and cleared away by Shelby McMahon. Shouts for handball against Honda, but play continues. And the cross has the defence scrambling, but first to respond is Carly Ross-Backen, and she clears to the safety of the touchline. We've ticked into the final 5 minutes of regulation in what has been the first half of great contrast. The first 10 minutes, and then the subsequent 30 felt like almost 2 completely different games. Tokyo Verdy are hoping to recapture the magic of that first 10 minutes. Attempted countback. Did the ball find its way over the line? It did. Tokyo Verdy fans, they may have conceded the most recent goal, but they're still having an immense amount of fun. The manager, Naoki Kusanose, watching on, hoping his team can make it to halftime with their lead intact. Network of short passes inside the defensive penalty area. Eventually, Turner Clears up to the halfway line. McNamara being challenged by Honda. McMahon. McMahon with a long ball from deep in midfield. Hoping to set McNamara away, but broke away from the runners. Otto's follow-up. Good defensive header. Now McKenna. Rostbacken to McMahon. McKenna. Pass blocked. In comes Turner. Rostbacken. McMahon. Laid off by McNamara. And the pass to set her clear down the left. Not quite. Breaking towards the line and running out of room. City won't want the half-time break to arrive here. They're growing towards an equaliser. Tokyo Verdy might see the half-time break as a perfect chance to break Melbourne City's momentum that they've managed to climb into the game with. Control of the pass from McMahon and sets Keane away. Keane, head down, running forward, engaging the defender. Matsuda guarding Keane. Back to Rostbacken. Hughes. Tokyo Verdy able to put a foot on the ball. And Rin Sumida only as far as Stott. Through pass is going to run down to the goalkeeper, Oba. Muramatsu. 2 minutes of additional time, signalled by the fourth official. Switch of flanks from Shinjo. Good control from Namoto. Created Tokyo Verdy's last really good chance to score. Been 3-0 at the time too. Shinjo found a way to get up and construct a volley. Muramatsu. Aoki. Muramatsu. Tamamiaso. Better from Tokyo Verdy. Challenge comes in from Taylor Otto, but not enough to stop the attack. Honda, an underlapping run. Comes in from Shiokoshi. Back out to Honda. Aso. Sumida. A long shot. He's going to drift, and Melena Mirez saw it all the way. Makes the catch. Aoki had enough, decided to shoot from well outside the penalty area. Able to catch out the Spanish goalkeeper. Now there's only seconds left to go in the first half. Tokyo Verdy have had a late swing in the momentum here, though. Ross back. McMahon. And the halftime whistle goes. So this match is finally poised. Tokyo Verdy opened a 2-0 lead by the 10-minute mark. And we're looking like the dominant side, but Melbourne City will be pleased that they have halved the deficit and grown into the contest. Halftime in this AFC Women's Champions League semi-final. It's Melbourne City 1, Tokyo Verdy 2.
By implementing the video assistant referee system, VAR across its club competitions. The purpose of the VAR will be to rectify clear and obvious mistakes in match-changing situations based on the principles and philosophy of the laws of the game. The This year, best airline in the Middle East, world's best business class, best. For the safety of all spectators and ensure an unobstructed view, the use of wallet is strictly prohibited in the stand. Please wear protocols instead of using an wallet. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding.
관광법대에서는 구별 관람객의 시야 방해 및 안전사고 예방을 위해 우산 사용은 금지되어 있습니다. 운전 시에는 우산 대신 우의를 착용해 주시기 바랍니다. 관객 여러분들의 양해와 협조를 부탁드립니다.
Both teams making halftime substitutes in this AFC Women's Champions League semi-final. As you can see there, Briley Henry has entered the game for Melbourne City, and Mayo Doko has come on for Tokyo Verdy. Only one goal the difference. Tokyo Verdy took a 2-0 lead inside the first 10 minutes, thanks to goals from Yuzuho Shiokoshi and Miharu Shinjo. Only for Melbourne City to hit back with 18 Keane on the goal line, redirecting a shot from Rebecca Stott into the net. And that gives Melbourne City some hope at the start of the second 45 minutes. Of course, if we end up with a level game after 90 minutes, it'll be off to extra time. Perhaps that has entered the thinking of both coaches as they've made a halftime substitution. Persistent, steady rain at the Suwon Sports Complex as we kick off the second half. And Melbourne City get proceedings back underway, attacking the left of your screens. Tokyo Verdy with a 2-1 lead as things stand. They will be advancing to the AFC Women's Champions League final to be played on Saturday. Zanine Keane commits an early foul here, and inside the first 20 seconds of the kickoff at the start of the second half. Hikaru Naomoto, she was entangled with there. That it was Omoka Honda coming off for Mayodoko. Honda, who certainly had her hands full marking Holly McNamara in that first half. Saw her take a knock midway through the half that she was able to run off, but perhaps the halftime break, the right time to take her out of the game. Here's Ross Backham for Melbourne City. 18 Keane. Danielle Turner. Turner's diagonal ball. Headed away from the centre of the penalty area. Shinjo, one of the first half goal scorers. Ball looping over the right. Naomoto. Keeps the ball in. Namoto looking for a burst of speed. Turner sticking to her. Now the overlapping run and a low cross driven into the box. Laid back, but the pass misses Shinjo. And that will allow Clean to come back and help clear. McNamara challenging, but caught behind there. Aoki. That shot from some distance out at the end of the first half. You know, Aoki, that Melena Mires was able to hold on and save, but it was an ambitious attempt to restore the 2-goal buffer for Tokyo Verdy. The player who came off from Melbourne City at halftime, Laura Hughes, was standing in midfield, so on Briley Henry to play on the right side of attack has led to a couple of positional switches. Here's McNamara with a chance to run onto the ball, and excellent central defending. That was absolutely vital from Mayodoko, the halftime sub, right up to the speed of the game instantly, and showing us her qualities immediately, because that is as dangerous as McNamara has looked in the game so far. Shinjo over to the right flank. Namoto's been busy out of the rooms at halftime. And backtracking, Keane able to sweep the ball away. Hikaru Namoto has come out with a mission at the start of this second half to really try to drive Tokyo Verdy forward. And here she is on the ball once more. Namoto. Really clever pass. Aoki lifts up across and held on to by Melena Mires. Taylor Otto. Now Danielle Turner. Rin Sumida. Namoto again. Aoki. Back to the center of defense. Mayodoko. Kitamura. Doko. Long string of passes here for Tokyo Verdy. Keeping the ball away from Melbourne City, and ultimately Melbourne City win a throw-in back, and it's the 18-year-old Shelby McMahon who was able to get in there and make a contest and win the throw-in. So a lot of looking from side to side there from Tokyo Verdy, but they didn't venture forward. McMahon rising to a header. Turner. Here's Davidson. Slight challenge keeps the ball away from McNamara. Now she helps it roll on to Letitia McKenna. Mires to Otto. Tokyo Verdy sensing the chance to press here. And Otto with an excellent pass that finds McMahon. McMahon now looking to split the defence. McNamara, good control. And McKenna. Letitia McKenna advancing. Twists across onto the head of Leah Davidson, who had snuck forward. Davidson, who scored in the group stage against Stallion Laguna. It's her only goal of the season so far. Hasn't scored a single one in the Australian A-League this campaign, but was able to find the back of the net in the AFC Women's Champions League. Melbourne City fans enjoying some of the fare that's on offer inside the stadium in Suwon. Looked like a bag of sweets there from one of the local vendors. Melbourne City trying to re-find the flow that they had at the end of the first half, where it looked like they may have been a very good chance of grabbing an equaliser before the half-time break. They have possession here. Turner to Keane. 18 Keane trying to roll away from her defender. Great power from Keane. And still moving forward, Holly McNamara takes possession, cuts it back. Here's McKenna, and just too much on the slick surface for McNamara. Another promising build-up for Melbourne City. And they know they're getting closer here. This was great power from 18 Keane to hold off one defender and then burst with acceleration. Take the ball down into the attacking penalty area. Shinjo. High looping ball. Otto heads it away. Sumida. Aso. Down steps Stott. Tackle on Shinjo. And a sweeping cross into the box. Shiakoshi runs onto a tight angle. And that ball will run all the way down the line. It might hit the corner flag. It does. It's hit the corner flag and stayed in. And Taylor Otto was alert to the danger. Ran the ball all the way down. But Tokyo Verdy are reloading in attack once again. Turner's ability to head the ball away repels that cross. Naomoto. Aoki. It's Yuna Aoki with a cross, and this time a half volley from Rebecca Stott. Yuna Aoki denied once by McKenna. Naomoto. McKenna asking for the throw-in for Melbourne City, but the assistant referee on the near side, Baomeng Zhao of China, did not agree initially, but now the central referee is overruled, so it will be Melbourne City's ball. Now more confusion about who's got the ball. This time the initial point went to the opposite direction again. Keane with that push gives away the foul. Stott clears from the centre of defence. Henry. Now McNamara to Briley Henry. Henry underhit the return pass. Still need to really stamp herself on the game, the halftime substitution. Some 11 minutes after the restart. Shiakoshi. Davidson. McNamara. McKenna. Now driven long. McNamara chasing again. And it won't hold up. Might be a sodden surface, but it certainly isn't that heavy. Ball is skidding on. And McNamara hoping to run that pass down, but instead good goalkeeping from Shuoba to come out and collect. Here's McMahon. Elena Mires sharply out of her line, clearing to McNamara. Is there a high boot? Ball remains live in play. Sumida came through for Tokyo Verdy, and now a bit too much aggression shown against Shiakoshi. Stott returning to the centre of defence. Look here at how Stott came through late. Just hit the knee of Shiakoshi there. Nalmoto again the target of the Tokyo attack. This time she's been able to draw a corner kick. Dan Turner must be wondering why Tokyo Verdy are so persistently attacking down her right flank. They've been almost exclusively moving the ball down the right side in this second half. Shades of the first half where they often favoured the right side rather than the middle or the left. Tamami Aso is going to take the resulting corner kick here. In it comes from Aso. And the combination of McNamara and Rossbacken have cleared the ball away. There's a player down for Tokyo Verdy, and the referee is going to whistle play to a stop so that the trainer can come on here. Looks as though there might have been a head clash, or at least one player in a clash of heads, and it's Tomoko Muramatsu who is down. Here's another look. McNamara coming through and an arm to the head. And that is what has caused the issue here. VAR is checking a possible penalty. I wonder, was Holly McNamara a shade too late? Just a little illegal with how she challenged for the ball in the air there. Or is VAR simply having a cursory glance while we have an injury delay? This could be a very important moment in the game here if VAR does summon the referee over to review the on-field call. Tomoko Muramatsu seems to have her bearings and should be able to continue in the match. Well, VAR is satisfied that there is no need for the referee to come in and review the incident. So McNamara's challenge there for the ball is considered to be within the rules. And Tomoko Muramatsu will run around to the fourth official. McNamara is going to chase the goalkeeper here and catch the goalkeeper in possession, but the ball takes a kind deflection as far as Tokyo Verdy are concerned. And the closing speed of Holly McNamara, it was red alert there for Shu Oba, and the goalkeeper just got enough on the clearance that when it struck the shin of McNamara, it ricocheted kindly out to the sideline rather than back towards her own net. Mires. Shelby McMahon. McKenna. And now Turner. 18 Keane. Isolated one-on-one. Keane with a burst of speed. Creates some separation and wins a corner. And the defending from Yuna Aoka able to stop the cross going into the penalty area, but a set piece is the result. So McKenna with the corner. And the The near post, Taylor Otto was the target. Couldn't steer it back towards goal. The near post run from Taylor Otto, but where she needed a glancing header, she caught it flush. And that meant out for a goal kick. Holding on a little too firmly. Shino Matsuda there on the sideline. Oba. Volleyed on by Aoki. The ball curves towards the line, and despite the best efforts of Hikaru Namoto to keep it in, the line a little too large. Midfield battle at present. Shukoshi. Namoto. Shijo. Namoto. Tokyo Verdy in the ascendancy, but with no great surety at the moment. Melbourne City continue to challenge. The buffer of 2 early goals has been one that has allowed Tokyo Verdy to play a little placidly at times. It's keen attempts a through ball that's intercepted here. Perhaps it's incumbent on further substitutions for Tokyo Verdy to give them the energy they need to kick again here and re-establish a 2-goal lead. Melbourne City, they are playing with belief that they can get back in this match. Here's Stott. Rebecca Stott commanding traffic and now taking the game on. Into midfield she goes. McNamara, a misplaced touch, but up steps Shelby McMahon. And now Letitia McKenna. Turner to Keane. One-on-one on the wing again. Keane veers in and tries to break wide. It's a good run from Keane. Keane cuts it across and sharp defending the centre from Muramatsu. Melbourne City reload and go again. Keane trying to scoop the ball out to the left flank where Taylor Otto, the centre back, was making a run. And look, would you look at that? Fresh legs are waiting on the sideline as anticipated here for Tokyo Verdy. Like me, they've seen that they are just drifting in the game at the moment. Need a bit of a burst of energy from somewhere. Possession at the moment, though. Are they building to something before the next change comes through? Otto back in more familiar surrounds in defence. Trusting Mires with the back pass, and Mires strikes a first-time clearance, high and looping. Namoto, Sumida, now Stott. Back to Mires once again. McMahon. Chasing the ball is Yuna Aoki here. Keane pressing up. Able to affect the pass, but the pass still found a mark. Ushia Koshi, who came in to connect. Tamami Aso. Now Muramatsu. Aso. Through the left flank. Kitamura. Kitamura running at Briley Henry. Kitamura with a cross, and Taylor Otto up for the header. Just over the head of Shinjo. Better from Tokyo Verdy. A lot more direct. Perhaps that's the spark that they needed there, the run of Kitamura. And they have attacked so infrequently down the left side. We've barely seen Kitamura in this second half. Ball, and the offside flag is up, and I don't think that Miharu Shinjo was expecting the ball to find its way to her. So the substitution can go through, and it is the 19-year-old Miyu Matsunaga who is coming on in the number 18 shirt, and it's farewell to Hikaru Naomoto. So there is Matsunaga, and Chinaza Uchendu, the Nigeria international, is coming on here for Leah Davidson. So Uchendu, a very attack-minded player, scored the winning goal in the quarterfinal against Nassaf, is coming on. And Davidson, who's been busy in central midfield, makes way, some fresh legs for Melbourne City with 20 minutes to go. So build up here from Tokyo Verdy. Cut back to the edge of the box. Rin Sumida with a bending shot. But it bent kindly right into the gloves of Malena Mires. But as the game ticks into its final 20 minutes of the 90, that's the sort of energy that Tokyo Verdy have been looking to summon. Is going to use every second allocated to her before putting the ball on the ground and taking a few more. Long clearance from Mires, and Chinaza Uchendu has been installed at the top of the attack. So like the substitution that saw Shelby McMahon move into defence at right back and Briley Henry into the game as a right-sided attacker. Uchendu has come on here, and perhaps McNamara will now step in a little deeper. Still Tokyo Verdy's advantage. Keane, McKenna and Turner confronted by two opponents. Turner. Here's McKenna. Briley Henry into the box, cleared from Uchendu, still looking for a meaningful first touch in the game. The shouts from the sideline tell the story. We're going to see a yellow card for the first time in the game. It's taken until the 73rd minute. But Rin Sumida, too much there. Aiden Keane able to run at the defender, arm over the shoulder, and then Keane going to ground, and the foul given. So Yuna Aoki becomes the first player to receive a yellow card in the match. So a wide set piece opportunity here for Melbourne City. Set pieces have been infrequent during the course of the game. Letitia McKenna has been on duty for all of them. Can she find the right pass, the right cross? Who knows, maybe even a shot that slides on. McKenna, it's low, it's McNamara hunting for the ball. And they tried to recreate a goal that they scored back in December in the Australian A-League there, Melbourne City. McNamara with late contact on Shu Oba. I wonder if Tokyo Verdy did their homework on that, or if McKenna just put it a little too close to the keeper. But that was nearly a recreation of a goal that McNamara scored in the Melbourne Derby to win the match against Melbourne Victory 2-1 in the Australian A-League back in December. So Melbourne City going back to a well-rehearsed move that had ended in a goal earlier in their domestic season. This time, Tokyo Verdy were able to foil them. McNamara, Keane. And Keane is clattered. Protestations here from Sumida, but Eden Keane, so much power, never afraid of a confrontation, never afraid to put her body in danger to win the ball. Letitia McKenna has a much longer range free kick here. As the rain is about as heavy as it's been all match. McKenna, a driving free kick. It's going to slide on. Taylor Rotto with a chance. And Rebecca Stott tried to cut it back before the line, but it did appear to have run long. And it was the two centre backs who were advancing there. Taylor Otto almost able to steer this back on goal. It was a big deflection and it set up for the volley, but very high degree of difficulty. And unfortunately for Taylor Rotto, she struck it like a centre back and hooked it across the face. Again, Melbourne City, in their absolute desperation to find an equaliser, we feel like they are closing in once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, the total attendance is 1,352.
Stott. McKenna, back to Stott. McKenna, McNamara. Uchendu making her presence felt against Muramatsu. But Tokyo Verdy have escaped with the ball. Kitamura. Sumida. Kitamura drifting into the middle. Shiukoshi. Through came Turner. Otto with the clearance. Chendu trying to make a presence. High looping ball and massive collision there between Rossbakken and Tamamiaso. And now Rossbakken has done enough to convince the referee a foul was committed. But the initial collision was fearsome. Rossbakken clearly unperturbed. And players are now back on their feet. Here's another look. Rossbakken eyes only on the ball and headed it straight into Tamamiaso and then ran into her for good measure. Underlapping run from Aso. And Stott read the cut back. Was able to sweep the clearance away. Chance for a long shot here to Tamamiaso. And the follow-up is in for a third. And that might be decisive. Yuzuho Shiukoshi able to apply the finishing touch. and make it Tokyo Verdy 3, Melbourne City 1. And as the game winds towards the final 10 minutes, have Tokyo Verdy done enough to book their place in the final? It was a parry from Milena Mires, but it set up perfectly for Shiyukoshi to come across. And still required a good technique there to read the bounce of the ball and sweep it past Milena Mires for a 3-1 lead. And for all the hard work Melbourne City have put in trying to bridge a 2-goal deficit, it is Tokyo Verdy's top scorer who nets her third of the Champions League campaign. That is to go with 9 that she's scored in the Japanese League this season. And we're going to see substitutions on the sideline. Tamami Aso, who was heavily involved in the build-up to that goal, comes off, and Rumi Utsugi, the 37-year-old veteran Japanese defender, comes on here. Former international, key part of previous AFC Women's Asian Cup winning teams for the Nadeshiko. Tamami Aso can take her lead, but Melbourne City, well, they have a very tall order here. If they can grab a goal back straight away, that would certainly help. A couple of sliced clearances. The ball is out for a corner kick. It could have been so much worse, though, for Tokyo Verdy there. VAR is maybe looking at a handball here. Not sure they'll be checking this for too long before the corner kick comes. And indeed, the decision is no penalty. So, McKenna with a corner kick. It's going to be desperate for Melbourne City from here. McKenna strikes the corner. Otto. Ball over the head of the American and over the head of all and sundry. Out for a corner, out for a goal kick on the other side. And Melbourne City, Danella Buttress, the 19-year-old, is going to come on here. And it's going to be for Carly Rostbacken. So a defender comes off and a young winger comes on. Buttress, who scored 2 goals in the group stage, is on here, and she'll be looking to make an immediate impact as Melbourne City start to take a few more risks, trying to bridge a 2-goal gap. Buttress goes on into the right side of attack. It's pushed Briley Henry down into right back, a position she is familiar with. She's played just about a quarter of her career as a right back in the Australian A-League. Henry, still only 23 years of age. Here's McMahon. Uchendu, the flag stays down here. Chinaza Uchendu has to regain her balance. Uchendu, the ball glued to her feet here, and now the flag goes up. Well, she did look offside initially, but it's a bit of a wait for the flag to go up from Wu Chao Li on the outer side. Here's another look, and yes, a mile offside. And then a belated flag eventually came against Uchendu. Is Melbourne City's season coming to an end right here with 10 minutes to go? Free kick going the way of Tokyo Verdy. Free kick falls in the penalty area, swept away. And it's going to run on for 18 Keane. Keane into open field here. The defence scrambling to get back, and that's really good cover. And it was an attacker, Miharu Shinjo, who was able to rise to a sprint and chase after 18 Keane there and stop her advances towards the penalty area. Block tackle, McKenna, and blown up for a foul, and that will be frustrating for the Melbourne City midfielder. Referee giving a telling off here. Letitia McKenna certainly doesn't seem to agree. maybe she got a bit of the ball before getting the opponent. Miyu Matsunaga, the most recent sub for Tokyo Verdy. Every time the ball stops now, it is going to be agonising for Melbourne City. Chance for Tokyo Verdy, who aren't time-wasting by any means, but they can just control the tempo of the game. Steer a 2-goal buffer to the finish line. McNamara with an early ball. Buttress is going to follow up here. Backspin favours the defender in Muramatsu, and now Buttress gives away the free kick. A little overzealous, the substitute. Battle of youth and experience there, as it was Miyatsugi who was subject to the foul from Buttress, some 19 years younger. Melbourne City find one more goal before it's too late, just to set up a big finish here. Shukashi's volley. Buttress did her level best to try and keep it in, but the ball has found its way over the line. Challenging Buttress. Shinjo up against Stott. The ball laid back to McMahon. No time wasted. A long ball from McMahon. Powerful header coming through. McNamara does well to skip around one and then two challenges. Fleet-footed there, Holly McNamara. And Danella Buttress. Cross sweeping in from the right side, and a desperate lunge. Is able to volley it through the box and out for a corner kick. Excellent defending, you'd have to say. Prevents 18 Keane from doing anything other than placing the ball in the quarter circle for a corner kick. Big moment here for City. Can they score with 5 minutes to go? McKenna's corner. An arm up from Oba. It's kept inside the penalty area. Uchendu with a volley. And too many defenders on the line. And now a full field counter attack could be on. Briley Henry is sprinting back here and is just going to have a little bit too much speed to allow Tokyo Verdy to escape. It was exciting for a moment there for Miyu Matsunaga, but Briley Henry is a very fast player. She was able to get back and defend. Ball was broken long here. The flag has stayed down for now. It's Maharu Shinjo cutting it across. Blocked. So important, and Shinjo goes on target. And she had Nanami Kitamura completely unmarked in the penalty area, but just couldn't get the ball over to her. 4-1 would have been game over. And Tokyo Verdy getting ready for Saturday's final. High bounce here. Goes Utsugi for the header. Uchendu brings the ball to ground. McMahon. Turner. Keane. 18 Keane. Well, wrapped up by the defender, but then able to go and defend from the front immediately. Trying to win the ball back, and 18 Keane, rather than argue with the referee, is going to slap the ball, and the referee is going to want to give Keane a telling off here. Referee Tian Jin has done everything but reach for the yellow card, telling 18 Keane off there. Tensions simmering late in the piece. Aoki, the only player in the game who has a booking that was Keane's first objective, and then across came Miyu Matsunaga. So substitution, and one of the goal scorers, Miharu Shinjo, is making way, and Danelle Tan is coming on. And we're also going to see another of the veterans, the 39-year-old Azusa Iwashimitsu is coming on here. And it is for Nanami Kitamura. So Iwashimitsu comes on, and there's Danielle Tan, the Singapore international who actually played in the Australian A-League for the Brisbane Roar last season. Her globetrotting continues. She actually scored in the group stage, Danielle Tan. She wasn't able to score in the Australian A-League. She actually only played the equivalent minutes of about half a game during the 2024-25 season, but she's had a bit more joy playing for Tokyo Verdy at her next stop. Here's Briley Henry. Melbourne City trying to throw everything at this one, but they are running out of time and they are 2 goals behind. Buttress, helped out by Uchendu. McKenna, back to Buttress on the wing. Danny Buttress takes a strike and it's blocked immediately. Rebecca Stott. Stott to Keane. Keane breaks left and, well, the disappointment is evident as she slices that cross out for a goal kick. Michael Matriciani trying to keep his team on task here, but those Melbourne City fans have been standing in the rain for 90 minutes at a minimum. So is that coach. Naoki Kusanose is finally starting to feel the effects of the weather. He'd been largely unmoved for so much of this game. And you can see him shivering on the sideline. Last minute of the 90 then. Buttress. Tokyo Verdy with a long ball. Mirez. Shuoba with the clearance. Henry's header. Straight down to Utsugi. Buttress with a deflection away. 3 additional minutes. It has been a brisk second half. We haven't had any major delays. So Melbourne City's hopes of a miracle now moving into territory where if they do find a way to get back to 3-3 and force extra time, it will take something truly extraordinary. Tokyo Verdy are so close to advancing to the final. Keane goes to ground. No time for protesting. McNamara volleys on. Taylor Rotto has been thrown forward here. The centre back now standing at centre forward next to Chinaza Uchendu. Henry with a sidestep. Turner. McKenna. A long ball, a hopeful ball, and McMahon commits a foul. No pretensions of challenging for the ball in the air there. And it's been a physical encounter today for Tomoko Muramatsu at the centre of defence, but she's done her job excellently today. So 1 of the additional 3 minutes has ticked by. Uchendu. Advantage given. Uchendu just overhits the pass. It's been perhaps an affliction of Melbourne City's today. Sometimes promising moves have broken down due to a through ball or a long ball that was just a little overstruck. Fine margins for them. As long as the game was lingering at 2-1, it did feel as though they were coming back into the contest, but the third goal coming in the 78th minute has really down their resistance here. Now it feels as though we are just marking time until the whistle goes, because we're in the final minute of 3 allocated here. And Melbourne City, who suffered Champions League heartbreak last season, losing the final in a penalty shootout, are set to be eliminated eliminated in 90 minutes of the semi-final today. Even a goal now might be too late to even run back to the middle and kick off. And Tokyo Verdy aren't going to want to take any risks. Turner's throw in. McKenna. And a long ball to clear as stoppage time expires. Stott's header. The referee does see a free kick. We're going to go beyond the additional 3 minutes. How much longer is the question? Riley Henry, no time to waste. Long ball. Uchendu with a flick header on. Otto after it, but again, good goalkeeping by Shu Oba. The referee sees an infringement. Apology comes from Taylor Otto. And the whistle goes. Tokyo Verdy have eliminated Melbourne City and they advance to the final of the AFC Women's Champions League. They will be back at the Suwon Sports Complex on Saturday to contest the decider. The full-time score, Melbourne City 1, Tokyo Verdy 3.